Hello everybody, welcome to the Coaching Conversation. I'm Graham Wiley and I've been coaching business leaders for the last 2 decades. In this series we're going to explore some of the things I've seen and learned in that 2 decades and hopefully help you see how you can become more focused, more effective and hopefully happier in your life. So it's now time to sit back, relax and enjoy the Coaching Conversation. Hello everybody. In this edition of the Coaching Conversation, I'm going to talk about peer groups. It might seem a bit strange, but actually running a peer group, or an action learning group as it's often called, is coaching. And let me perhaps start by describing how peer groups work. Then I can talk to you about the role that the coach has in running those peer groups. Peer groups are where groups of individual business owners, business leaders come together for sharing experiences, focusing on individual problems, and jointly finding solutions to those sorts of problems. And peer groups in the sense that everybody is equal, everybody has a say, everybody has experience to bring and nobody's an expert. But obviously some people have particular experience of an individual issue more than somebody else. And that allows them to share that experience and for the others to learn from that. Peer groups are around about 10, so not less than 7 or 8. A bit more than 20 and it's probably unruly, not everybody's going to get to talk. And they take a number of shapes in the sense of who's backing them and creating them. Some of them are run by the government. There's a program at the moment called Peer Networks and it's completely free to the members and they meet monthly. They get a little bit of one-to-one coaching separately to that. But really it's a 3-hour session and about 11 business owners are in each cohort, each group. And other groups are paid for groups. So you would take something like Vistage or YPO, Young Presence Organisation, or TAB, the Alternative Board, and you subscribe to being part of that group. And the people that run those groups are coaches. The people that organise and promote the way that those events occur use coaching techniques to do that. They're not the subject matter experts. They're not the people that know the answers. It's not an educational program from them, but they are facilitating the conversations between the members. They are encouraging individual members to make themselves vulnerable, to open up and share their experiences, or open up and say, I need some help. And the subject matters are clearly anything and everything that's impacting a business. Now, in recent times, that would have been issues around pandemic, around furlough, around HR law, around the different dynamics of Brexit, all of the obvious big stuff. But often it's not the big stuff. Often it's really quite specific, normal, everyday business problems that people look for help with. So in family-owned businesses, often it's the family conflict issues and people are looking for advice and support around how they might deal with other members of their family. In some businesses, it's to do with sales development. They don't know how to generate leads well enough. For some people, it's finance. They're not sure how to make the most of the information that's put in front of them or to understand it even. And if you've got a group of, say, 10 or 11 people, there is a lot of built up experiences, years and years and years of insight that can be shared amongst the group. The role of the facilitator, the role of the coach in that particular event is to make sure everybody participates. What we don't want is a lot of shrinking violets who are perhaps doing a lot of taking and not a lot of giving, or indeed not participating at all and getting little out of it at the same time. And so their role is very much around encouragement. Their role is very much around helping people get the best from the conversation. Now, these are not sales processes. This is not networking in the context of getting new opportunities for your business, though that may be a side product that you may find that these are people in the room that you want to buy from or you want to sell to. But that's not the raison d'etre. That's not why they exist. They exist to help you as an individual learn from your peers. They exist to help you help your peers. It is a two-way street. Sessions, as I said earlier, normally run about 3 hours because you've got to get into the stuff. You've got to have time for various subjects to be aired and solutions proposed. They work really well if it's a diverse group, so different ages, different trades, different sexes, different outlooks on any aspect of business. And so the more diverse the group, the stronger. What is also really, really helpful is if the group has a whole commitment to tackling the issues that each other have. So people willingly participate and are prepared to open up about what that they have done in the past, which usually means you don't have competitive businesses. So you don't have 2 building companies in the same group. You don't have 2 firms of accountants in the same group, because that could well be commercially sensitive and that could make people very reticent to participate for obvious reasons. The other spin-off often is that from the one-to-one coaching that might run alongside the actual peer group meeting is that there will become common themes for learning. You might even organise formal structured learning from subject matter experts outside of the normal peer event. And that again can be extremely valuable because not only are you learning in that environment, you're learning with people that you know, people that you trust, and their learning and the way in which they interact with it will help and add to your learning. So peer groups, coaching of peer groups is a real skill because it's a lot of people in a room, a lot of people with often a lot to say, and certainly a lot of experience that you're trying to get access to. So coaching a peer group is really a challenge. The best way I've seen people manage this is to try to persuade people to make it clear and describe in detail what the challenge is they'd like some help with, and then to ask other members of the group to ask questions to get more insight, to get more detail before they share their experience or make their proposals as to what the person might want to do with their challenge. And so that it's not a matter of people just saying, well, I think what you should do is, it's a matter of getting very deep insight into what has happened or is happening, and therefore using that to shape your understanding and therefore your suggestion to your colleague. And strictly adhering to this kind of process rather than just people leaping in with solutions enables the whole team, everybody in the group, to get the depth of understanding of the challenge and the complexity often that would not be there by just jumping to a conclusion. So, peer groups, coaching peer groups, there you have it. They are really valuable learning tools. They're really valuable ways of gaining insight and developing yourself. And if you don't belong to a peer group as a business leader, I'd encourage you to find one and to join them. And they're a fantastic way for a coach to hone their skills in developing people within that group to be the very best that they can be. So there you have it, the latest edition of the Coaching Conversation. Hope you found it interesting, hope you found it useful. You can find out more about our coaching programs at theexecutivemindset.co.uk. If you want to reach out, you can send me an email at theexecutivemindset@sagegreen.com. You can book a free 30-minute session at theexecutivemindset.co.uk, which will give you a really good feel for how coaching could help you. And if you've really enjoyed the session, do please rate us, do please give us a review. And nothing more for me to say other than see you next time.